Not on the toilet. I'm just sitting on the edge of the tub having a smoke in my bathroom. Ran out of time, and I was like, well, I need to dart before we start the show. But it's going to be a kind of a quicker live tonight just because I got to be up super duper early to watch the Canada gold medal game. We're taking on the States tomorrow. Go Canada, go boys! You know it's going to be a good game. I expect it to be a very intense fight on both sides, and it should be quite good. I hope everyone's having a wonderful week so far. I've had a busy week. Today was my Monday, so Saturday was my Monday. But no, work is going good. Still haven't made the video. I know the popping old beans video, but that is coming, and we will be doing that very, very, very soon. And so that'll probably be coming out realistically, probably this week would be my guess. We'll have that coming out this week. I just got to go get a bottle of fresh hydrogen peroxide. What's up, Zip Jones? What's up, Anthony C? What's up, Dan Stutzky? Good to see you. All right. But I got to get a new bottle of some fresh hydrogen peroxide there just to kind of give us that optimization on the older beans. And it's going to be a fun video. And, we're going to get back to doing some educational content, I think, more so because it's easier to make kind of smaller education videos rather than running giant grows for me right now, just because we have such limited space here at the apartment. And, the original closet that we used to start the channel, well, it's used for clothes now and TV. But I'm looking forward to it. How's everybody's week going for them so far? I just want to say a big shout out and thank you to everyone who's ordered beans from the website. Sent all of those out yesterday. For those of you wondering, yes, we are still sending to America, even though tensions are high. So those went down actually to Minneapolis. So big shout out to Minneapolis Mike there for the support there. Sent him a big old package of beans there yesterday, and that was good. What's up, James? How you doing, buddy? Good to see you. Yeah, smoking in the boys' room, Tony Gilbert. Smoking in the boys' room. That's right. But, we're just doing a quick live stream, checking with everybody. I mean, I was supposed to do one over the weekend, but, man, I was so exhausted from work last week, man. Work has just been crazy busy and tiring. But doing a quick little live stream tonight there before I got to go to bed early to wake up for the game tomorrow. So, yeah. What's up, Visible Farms? Good to see you, buddy. Tony says, I'm going to Florida. Yay. You're moving to Florida or you're visiting Florida? Is Florida legal? Is it state level legal in Florida? I don't know. I'm assuming it might be. I got a lot of people who are Potsquatches who've moved to Florida recently. Cadillac Jack being the main one that I'm thinking of. And he moved down there to be closer to his grandbabies and shit. But I can't see Cadillac Jack moving to a place where marijuana is illegal, state level wise. Going to pick up a car. All right, there you go, buddy. Well, to my knowledge, they don't get a lot of snow in Florida, so therefore it shouldn't be any salt damage or too bad rusting on it. So there you go. I'm assuming you're going to purchase the vehicle for your own personal use. That would be my guess or my assumption. But yeah, no, we're gonna get a couple of plants going in the tent, obviously. But the main thing we're gonna do is make the poppin' old beans video. I think that's really gonna be what we need to do first. And then once that gets going and we got that released, then we can kind of take some of those babies and get them going. You know what I'm saying? I had a feminized plant herm on me right at the beginning of flower. And the beach germinated our plants. Now I have seeds. Can I grow these seeds? Yeah, so James, you can grow those seeds for sure. You got to always remember from a hermaphroditic accident, okay, there's going to be a potentially a much greater proclivity to them herming. The ones that weren't hermed but got knocked up by the herm will be more stable, for example, than the seeds that would have come from the plant itself that hermed, because it will produce seeds as well, more than likely. Some of the greatest, even though I've never been a huge fan of Gorilla Glue, right? Like some of the strains that exist, like they owe their origin story to a hermaphroditic accident, right? Gorilla Glue number 4, Gorilla Glue. It's all hermaphroditic reality, right? So, yeah, you could definitely grow those beans. Just always watch out for nanners and keeping a close eye on them. The ones that were the plant that, like I said, that didn't hermaphrodite on you, it will be more likely to produce seeds that are less prone to hermaphrodism. So, just a thing to be aware of. Tony Gilbert says, just a part, buddy. I got an old car, needed it. It was either Florida or Texas. So, hell yeah, there we go. I mean, if you mean Girl Scout cookies, I don't believe Girl Scout cookies was an accident. But then again, though, it's been a hot minute since I've actually thought about that strain. I've got a book somewhere here, actually, that might actually have the origin story of Girl Scout cookies in it. Let me see here. This is a good little book here. Let's see here. Where are the strains in this thing? Feel like it might have. I'm just looking through the book here real quick and seeing if Girl Scout cookies is in this. It may or may not be. This book might be too old for the Girl Scout cookies in it, actually. Weird. I could have sworn I remembered Girl Scout cookies being in this book, but it's not in the book, so never mind. Do I have any cheese? I have cheese-based crosses. None of the strains that we've used, like a cheese in, are what I would call cheesy. Our K-Town Kush by Cheese by Alien Riff, though, is very funky. I wouldn't describe it as something that comes out overly cheesy, though, but it does have cheese genetics in it, though. Oh, so it was a GG4. Yeah, so GG4 definitely is known to be hermaphroditic. That's its origin story comes from hermaphroditic reality. So, took her out right away, grew the other plants. They all now have seeds. Yeah, no, it happens, James Mercer. Tony Gilbert says, damn it, I want original cheese. I can't find it. It's still out there. I'll see if I can find out where a good source for that is for you, and I can maybe shoot you a message about that. I'll give the old Gazzers a call. He's a pretty good reference point on where are original certain genetics available currently in modern day times. So he's always a good resource for checking on that and saying, hey, Gaz, you know anybody who's got those cheese beans, those nice cheesy beans? I remember the first time I tried cheese over in Europe, and it was funky, man. I remember that old school cheese, man. Cheese back in the day was so funky. I think the only thing I like more than cheese would be like blue cheese. Blue cheese was funkier even, and it was just such a, like when you get that sort of both the sweet notes present with the cheesiness to it. I mean, it was just such an enjoyable smoke. It was such a cool strain, man. Go back into my earlier years back when, like, because like now, let's be fair, like if I'm buying weed, I'm pretty much always buying Kush, right? Like I'm always so I'm usually smoking some variety of a Master or a Pink or a Bubba. I mean, those are some of the most prevalent things that are around in the market here in Vancouver, BC these days. But sometimes I do miss those old school strains, man. Sometimes sometimes I'd love me a cheese or a blue cheese or an old school blueberry, indica, or like, fuck, a proper old school purple Kush would be great. I mean, I miss hash plant. A hash plant still to this day is arguably probably one of my favorite cannabises that I've ever tried and smoked. What's up, Eugene Dolan? How's it going, baby? Good to see you, man. Welcome to the show. What I might be able to do is I might be able to get my hands on some a cheese. If I can get my hands on a true cheese. I was talking to Minneapolis Mike there out in down in the Minneapolis there. We were sending out the beans to him yesterday. And I gave him a shout just to kind of let him know, like, hey, they're on the way. Ooh, shit, I forgot to send him his track. I gotta do that. But he was telling me, though, that he's actually got original DJ Short Blueberry Reg beans that he could send me, and he'd be willing to share some with me. So if I could get those from him, and I can get my hands on a proper cheesy weed, I can make Potsquatch's, blue cheese cross. And obviously, we'd have to stabilize it out to really kind of like isolate that super funk that we're talking about. But, that could be something fun to kind of recreate for everybody at home. Oh, dude, yeah. Dan Stutzky, like the original hash plant, like that super duper hashy taste that it had. Oh, kind of earthy, kind of spicy. But it definitely, like, straight up just tasted like hash, though. Like, a true hash plant is arguably one of the most divine, enjoyable cannabises I've ever smoked in my entire life. I've got to be honest. Like, I just love the taste of blue cheese. I mean, hash plant. I love blue cheese too, but. James Mercer, what strain do I hate? I personally stay away from anything garlic for some reason. I hate the high I got from it. I hate most sats or most sat dom things. Not to say that there's not exceptions to the rule. Like, cheese is a predominant sat dom strain, right? I still like cheese. So I'm not a huge sat guy, though. So I've always found sats, one, I find them sort of anxiety inducing. I find they dry out kind of my soft palate, and then the soft palate tissues in my nose. Excuse me. It's been a long day. So I've never been a huge sat person per se. I've always been more of I like my indicas. I'm an indica world man. But there's exceptions to the rule. There's definitely exceptions to the rule, that's for sure. So there isn't necessarily a strain per se that I hate, but there's a special reality. Like anything that's too sat dom or sat leaning is definitely not for me. It's not my happy place. It's not where I'm going to go find myself enjoying the smoke and going out of my way to acquire it. You know what I'm saying? Funnily enough, hash plant actually is one of the things in this book. Maybe I should read you the little blurb that's in the book here on hash plant here. I don't even know. I haven't read any of this shit in so long. This is the little book here. It's fine. Where's hash plant? I'll read you the hash plant. Here we go. Hash plant, a hashy tasting classic. This version is an Afghani indica with a bit of a Northern Lights mixed in. The big book of buds says it has a pleasantly narcotic high. I mean, I've personally never really necessarily found cannabis something where I would describe it as almost like a narcotic per se high. I mean, maybe when I was a kid and I got like super baked sometimes, but this is saying it flowers in 6 weeks. I don't really think it does. Every time I've grown a true hash plant over the years, it was definitely like an 8 or a 9 week strain. I have very rarely ever met anything that is actually finishes in 6 weeks. So there are things out there that they claim will finish in 6 weeks, but like I personally, I just don't buy into it. But yeah, let's see here. It's funny. I'm like looking at this book and I'm like noticing errors, like where they missed words and shit. I'm like, huh, nobody did a great job editing this book. Still a good little book. It's an interesting read. Nothing too in depth really in it, but it was a book I bought years ago as a kid, and I always found it a fun book to kind of read and check out. So for the old beans video, we're going to be predominantly trying to pop a bunch of the older auto beans from Texas squash. Sorry, I'm so tired, everybody. But we promised Tex that we would try to pop some of those beans because he's been really struggling to pop any of the ones that he has. And so I do have a shit ton of them sitting here. So I was like, well, I'll try to pop. He asked me to pop them. So boom, we'll try to pop a bunch of those and we'll do them in different ways. So given that not only are they an older bean now, these beans aren't like super old. They're probably maybe 4 years old or so, or 5. So they're not like stupid old, but they're old enough for the experiments that we're going to be doing in the video. So, and then maybe I'll grab a couple of other things too, because like I mean, where I'll even grow. Fuck, I'm so tired. A few of them out, just because we've never done an auto on the channel. I'm not really an auto guy, so I'll probably try to pop some of the other old beans that I have in my collection too. That would be fun. Oh shit, I missed a bunch of messages here. 1 second here. I just gotta read here. Give me a second, everybody. What's up, Reds Homestead? Good to see you, buddy. Hell yeah, Eugene Dolan. It's been a hot minute. It's good to see you too, buddy. I hope you're doing well as well. Tony Gilbert says, personally, the AK-47 always gave me headaches, but maybe it was just me. I mean, it also could have just been the way it was grown locally, maybe certain, finishing or curing practices or certain feeds or chemicals they may have used in it as well. James Mercer says, about 2 years ago, I grew some Afghan Hindu Kush plants and made my basement smell like a locker room, almost like sweaty socks. It was great weed. It's funny how, all these super gross smells, but then, like, if it's weed, though, we love it. You know what I mean? Like, James Mercer says, my neighbor gave me a bunch of old seeds. I've tried every way to germinate them with no luck. I tried peroxide, I tried the sandpaper, and nothing. Well, hopefully we can have a few extra tricks in there that could help you there as well. Mr. Splacchiavelli says, sup, Uncle Squatch? I haven't seen any weed titties in a while. Yeah, no, it's been a hot minute since I've had any plants going. I'm gonna get a couple of plants going. I'm so sorry. I'm so tired, everybody. In the tent and shit. We'll get some shit going, but I've just been so busy with work, and then it's like weed is so cheap for me to buy now. It's like so. But we'll get some plants going, that's for sure. What's up, Alvin Mays? Good to see you, Santa. Eugene Dolan says, all good there, thank God. Hell yeah, buddy. Noob Coin Nerd says, like a funky cheese. I like a funky cheese too, man. Some people don't, but, I mean, more cheese for us, right? So, 1 second here. I'm just reading. Ever think of doing a mushroom grow? James, not really. Because, one, I get the best shrooms around. Like, the best shrooms in Vancouver I have access to. And so, I don't really see a point in me trying to grow them when I'm connected to some of the best shroom purveyors and producers in the world locally. So, it's like, I can just get the best of the best already. So, like, and they're a good price point. So I'm like, I'm not too worried about trying. I'll leave shrooms for the shroom people. Uncle Potsquatch doesn't mind no shrooms, but I got a bag of shrooms in my cupboard right now. But it's like, yeah, I don't need to do a shroom grow per se. I'm a weed titty guy. I know how to do weed. I mean, I understand the basics of shroom cultivation. Funnily enough, if any of you remember, Stefan, he did all of our labels for both our gummies when they came out, for our CBD, our beard oil, and all that shit. We did a lot of free work for us, really. I bought him a computer in the end to say thank you. And he's been playing around with growing shrooms. Now, he's not growing the fun shrooms as far as I'm aware. He's been growing a lot of just different culinary edible forms of shrooms and shit. But yeah, shrooms are good. Tamo Shantar says, keep your shrooms dried and submerged in honey. It's an interesting thought. I've never done that. I have 7 kilograms of local honey here. I could do that, but yeah. Fun fact, though, here, I'll go into the bright light so you can all see. My hair's growing back. I've been experimenting with a bunch of different things, and it's slowly working. I don't know if you can see. see here if I can. But if you can see, Uncle Potsquatch is growing new hair. Most of it's all baby hairs right now. But fuck, give me another 12 months, I'll have a full head of hair. So Uncle Potsquatch has been doing some experiments on himself. And this is all new growth in the front. This is all new hair. It's still going to take a hot minute to mature, I'm sure, but Uncle Potsquatch's hair is growing back. I've been using, what have I been using? You know, I may not have been growing weed, I've been growing hair though. So what have I been using? I've been using the Spartan hair product. So I've been using Spartan hair shampoo and conditioner that I've been using the Alpha. So I used that for about 2-3 months before I got the Alpha infused microneedling. And then I started using the microneedling. So you do that once a week. And I actually have a red light therapy cap now that I'm also using. I've only been using that a couple of days. So everything you're seeing has been caused by Spartan hair products and Alpha infused. But I definitely think the red light therapy cap is going to push us over the edge. Tam O'Shanter says, what you been experimenting with? I'm afraid if I sat my ancestors around a table, we would resemble a box of eggs. My people as well. I also come from Baldos. But no, my hair is growing back. It's getting thick. My baboon ass is filling in too. So anyone who says, oh, like Alpha Infused and Spartan hair care products don't work is full of shit. They do not work. And nothing works anywhere near as fast as people say it does. Doesn't work that fast. I'm probably 6 to 8 months in already on my journey, but like I was fully bald in the front. So this is like from fully bald for years to this. So I still think it'll be another 12 to 16 months before I have a full head of hair, honestly. But the Techno Viking, who needs hair with a beard like that? I agree. Oh, dude, this beard, and it keeps growing. I used to have a giant beard down to here, buddy. For me, it's like I never cared about being bald, honestly. But I was curious. And I like experimenting on myself and doing experimentation on shit. So I was like, well, fuck it. Let's see if any of this shit works. Because originally I wanted to start another YouTube channel where it was called Does It Work? And I, buy different products that we see on Facebook or this or that. And I'm going to experiment with them and test them on myself and see if it actually works. So the Spartan hair care product, the Alpha Infuse, that was all supposed to be a video for that. I never did it. I mean, I've been using the products and, my hair's growing back, but I never made the video. But it was just sort of a fun idea I had at one point in time of a YouTube channel that we could create where we could actually generate. Because, like, simply put, if I could create a second channel that actually provides an income for me to live off of so I didn't need to work the day job, I would have a lot more free time and ability to also create Potsquatch content. And so that's where, like, I've been toying around with that idea, like a secondary something where we could get another revenue stream coming in order to free us up to focus on things that we really want to do, if that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? But, yeah. What's up, the Techno Viking, by the way? Techno Viking, does that mean you are a Nordic-blooded man of techno music making descent? You DJ son? Marful69, hey brother, nice to see you again. Hell yeah, nice to see you too. No, it's nice to be back and getting things slowly going. And the Techno Viking says, correct. All right, there we go. I am actually DJ since 1998. Heck yeah, buddy. I was 10 years old, 1998. I was born in 1988. Oh, you're Swedish. I'm part Swedish, actually. So I'm mostly Scottish, right? So once upon a time, it's too hot wearing this hat. I'm overheating. I did that Ancestry.ca where they test your blood and everyone's all like, oh, they're going to fucking that. Fuck that. I even checked the box. I was like, you know what? You can even use my genome for scientific experiments. If I get to fight a clone of myself one day, a super clone of myself, like that'll be awesome. It'll be like Wolverine, that movie where he had to fight the young, like weird programmed version of himself and he takes all the drugs and he kicks his ass and then dies. That'd be cool. What a way to go, though, right? What a way to go. But yeah, no, I did that Ancestry.ca shit. So I'm mostly Scottish. I'm like 52% Scottish, and then I'm Irish and Welsh, Northern English, which just typically means Irish, Scottish, and Welsh slaves and serfdom. I am German, but I am 14% Swedish and 2% Norwegian. So there's 16% Viking in this. Honestly, let's be fair, that was probably a function of the rape that happened back in the day. The Vikings raped a lot of people. But I still got it in me, right? So it's like I'm mostly a Celtic mudblood. But, they're about 16% Viking in it. Oh, it's Wolfram. Good to see you, buddy. Thank you for explaining that to me. Actually, fun fact for you, the Techno Viking. There was a point in my time when I was a younger man, when I was living in Europe, and I used to MC for like drum and bass and jungle shows and house shows and shit like that. And it was funny because, like, I don't mind techno 100%. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I'm a mutt, but I ain't no. The only thing I'm pure blooded about is like I'm like the whitest person on the planet. Other than being the whitest man on the planet, there's nothing pure blood about me. I'm a fucking mud blood who comes from 6,000 years of serfdom. There is no royalty in me. I don't come from any crown or noble line, aka zero inbreeding in Potsquatch. Okay, no selective stabilization going on there. Uh, but. But yeah, back in the day, no, it was cool, man. Like in one sense, I was married to a very controlling woman. God rest her though; she's passed away. That's Lisa, my first wife. That's her book right there. So rest in peace, Lisa. I hope you are better now. Even though I honestly feel like I don't believe she was killed herself, and if she is passed, I believe someone killed her. Honestly, and I also believe that there is a weird, slight possibility that, in fact, and this is my own thoughts and shit. It's not based on anything. It's just a gut vibe. I honestly feel like maybe she's not even dead. I almost feel like she got wrapped in with the wrong people and was like trafficked or something. I know that sounds horrible, and it doesn't help that I'm making a movie right now, and we're going to be shooting in June uh, about human trafficking. So like that's my brain's been immersed in the world of human trafficking and learning about that dark reality of our planet for like a number of years now. So that's probably influencing my thoughts on things a bit. But yeah, anyway, I'm getting distracted. But when we were together and we lived in Holland, and I was, MC Multiplex, he and I are still boys to this day. And I could have had a huge career, man. If I had stayed on top of it and kept doing my thing, I would have been all over Europe all the time, on planes 4 or 5 times a week, doing shows everywhere. And that would have been my life. But she was very needy and controlling and didn't let me go do shows after a while. And so just to not hate my life, I gave in on that and stopped doing it. I love how the Techno Vikings like, whoa, his story got really dark really quick there. Sorry, everybody. There's a lot of different parts of my life. But yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, shit happens, right? Like, I mean, I could have stuck with it, but I mean, and to be fair, the marriage didn't work out anyway. So maybe I should have, but you never know. You're young and you learn and you live, right? Oh, totally the techno bike. Well, dude, you're never too old to get back into it, man. I actually got some connections in that world, dude. Um, you know, uh, I could make some calls for you if you wanted to like reconnect to that community, and I could see if I could help you get going again if you want it. I'll call MC Multiplex. I'll call Red Lebanon. Call Poison Ivy. She a very tall, sexy Dutch woman. I've been friends with her for years too. But yeah, I don't mind reaching out for you if you wanted to try to get back into that. I am happy to try to help always. It's the Canadian in me. But I'd love to come visit Sweden one day, though. Given that I am technically 14% Swedish, I would be curious. I'd be curious to come check out Sweden. Because I know a lot about my Celtic roots, but I don't know tons about my Swedish roots or my Norwegian roots. I've slept with a bunch of Swedish girls, but that's a different thing. That doesn't really mean I know Sweden. Um, yeah, I know parts of Sweden. you know, I don't even mind coming in the winter, bro. I'm from Canada. I like it cold, dude. Like, I mean, I shut down when it's super hot, but I'm sure it's probably prettier in the summer. I'm just saying I don't mind. I don't mind the cold. It's the inside that counts. Hell yeah, buddy. Well, the fact of the matter is, like, for me, I think it'd be cool to see Sweden because, one, every Swedish person I've ever met, except for a couple of skinheads I met from Sweden, I didn't like them much. But other than that, every Swedish person I've ever met has been wonderfully pleasant, very friendly, very genuine. And the little bit of Swedish cuisine I've tried, I've very much liked. I will hold the dirty joke I was about to make to myself. Yo, I have a question for you, Techno Viking, as a 100% Swedish man who's a Swede. Are Swedish meatballs a real thing? Like, I mean, obviously we have them here. We have tons of different versions of them. I love them. I eat them. I find them tasty as fuck. But do you guys actually like is Swedish meatballs a thing? Like, is that real? Like, if I go to Sweden and I'm like, I'm here for the Swedish meatballs, will I look like a moron? Oh, it is a thing. Okay, sweet. And they're like sweet and they're tangy and fucking awesome because that's what they're like here usually. Dude, I had some different people's grandmas, you know, who just made some crazy Swedish meatballs, man. Honestly, to be fair, I love Swedish meatballs. They're so good. I like meatballs in general, especially these days. I mean, yeah, I still have a few beers, so, you know, but I'm on my trying to be. I'm not doing a perfect job at it, but I'm getting ready for this movie. I got to get back into the gym, but I'm dropping weight left, right, and center. I'm getting back in shape. I got to get back in the gym because I've got a bunch of nude scenes coming up in this movie I got to do. And it's coming out in theaters across Europe and Canada, America, and probably down Central America as well. And I'm like, I do not want to look like shit when I am naked in this movie. No, large supporting role. Large supporting role. So, yeah, no. I don't have enough name recognition to be given the starring role of probably anything right now, unless someone really believed in my skills. But my friends have given me a very large supporting role that is a very challenging role. I can't talk about it too much, except I can say, as someone who typically identifies as a comedic character actor, this role will push me out of my comfort zone in ways that no role to date has. There have been roles that were hard and pushed me out of my comfort zone, but this one will be the most difficult of roles that I've done to date. And if I get the rewrites that were promised to me by the director, Francisco, we still need to have our meeting about that. Not that he watches the show. But I'll have a bunch of action scenes in this shit too. Hell yeah. Yeah, I mean, dude, like, I mean, I'll make okay money to shoot the film, but I'm getting a 0.5% of the theater run and for the profit of the life of the film. I'm actually trying to up that because I'm supposed to be given an associate producer credit on the film as well. So what I'm trying to angle is I want a 0.5% as an actor and I want a 0.5% as an associate producer. So if I could get 1%, that'd be sick. Because if this film, which is inspired by true events, does get big, that could be a decent paycheck for Uncle Potsquatch. Uncle Potsquatch might be able to move to another part of Canada and actually be able to afford to buy a house. My real hope for this movie, though, is not so much a direct payday from per se the movie. That'd be great. But what I'm hoping is it actually leads me to breaking out and actually getting some more work. Because basically, like, if I do two or three decent supporting roles in movies a year, I can live off that. I don't have to kill myself at a day job anymore, fixing shit for a corporation. And then I could have more time to make content for all of you and actually do the shit that I love and shit. Which would be pimp. Because let's be fair, I'd much rather just make 2 to 4 movies a year, buy properties, grow dope, design and build shit, be a comedian again, and tinker with shit. Because I do love fixing and fucking around with shit. But I'd rather do that for like sheer joy as opposed to, my day-to-day job, right? But Yeah, no, we'll get back there. You know, it may take me another few years before we ever get a big grow space again, but we'll get back there. We'll get back there. So funny when I think back over the years and I'm like, all the jobs I turned down in the legal pot industry because I thought I was selling out. I should have fucking taken them. The best contract Uncle Potsquatch turned down was over $200,000 a year, and stock options in the company. And I walked into the office pretending like I was going to take the job, and then I tore up the contract, threw it on their desk, and pissed on the desk. At the time, I thought it was hilarious. But, yeah, we get older. I'm like, yeah, maybe things would have been a little different if I had taken that job. But everything that happens for a reason. So I trusted the path, and I trust in what we're doing, and I'm just going to keep on keeping on, and we're going to see where it goes, my friends. Oh, man. But I am excited to do the poppin' old bean video. I'm excited to get some weed titty plants going again. It'll be good. I really got to get my ass in gear and actually do that for everybody. The main thing holding me back is I got to get some hydrogen peroxide, so we can get that hydrogen peroxide working on popping those beans for one of the techniques that we'll do. We're going to do a few different variations of popping beans and talking about popping beans. There's also, I've heard telltale of sort of enzymatic products that help to invigorate older genetic materials in older beans that'll help them to propagate. I've never actually ordered it and tried it. So if I can scrape together a few extra bucks, because I'm pretty tight right now. I live paycheck to paycheck, even though I make decent money. It's very expensive in the West Coast of Canada, especially these days with Dinkle Nuts Trump. But simply put, if I can get a few bucks together, I'd like to maybe try to order one of those products in for the video. Maybe I can find a company, be like, hey, I'm broke, but I'm the Potsquatch. You want to send me your product to test in a video? Back in the day, that used to work. I don't know if I got the clout anymore to do that, but it might work. It might work. I still think it'll be a good video, though. Now, if I were to grow weed, for the few people who are watching, again, what kind of weed do people want to see? I don't have a lot of the newer, weird, fancy shit because I don't really have a lot of use for these new, silly strains. I find a lot of them pretty silly. I like older school shit. And I got some pretty funky, cool, old shit in my collection, right? So, and if we're doing an old popping bean video, well, maybe I can dust off some of these weird, cool, old things and try to get those going. Anyone have any types or similar things that you're curious about? Everyone's allowed to talk, by the way. Type away if you want. Yeah, I mean, the Techno Viking back in the day, you know, I was resistant to sponsors. I was resistant to joining the YouTube monetization program. Then I did. And that's okay. At least, you know, me and Sweden are chilling. What's up? um, then they kicked us out of the monetization program. I finally joined. There was a point in time before like we got shadow blocked on YouTube, and like these live streams would have hundreds of people in them. We were growing at a rate faster than you could imagine. We went from like 4,000 or 5,000 to 20,000 in the span of a couple of months. It was insane. And then all of a sudden YouTube got mad at us and hated weed and hated us. And we were told we were harmful and dangerous content. I'm like, yeah. I'm a free thinker. That's why I'm dangerous. But you know, it is what it is. That's why we want to start that second channel, like something else that's not going to get me in trouble, and we could maybe generate some revenue. Because like even if I was generating revenue off the other channel, I could use that to then funnel money into this channel to like actually do some of the shit that we want to fucking do. You know what I'm saying? Which would be cool. We could start developing products and different genetics for our store again, and doing a lot of cool things. I've noticed that Soul Strip has taken our lights finally off of their website, which is fine. The funny thing is, though, Brett, if you're watching, you legally, and in terms of our agreement, have to notify me of that before you do it. I'm not going to piss with you over there. But the way I'm going to call it, Brett, is obviously our agreement is done. So we're not making lights together anymore. So I'm going to launch my own lights now eventually. And you can't do shit. So actually, funnily enough, there was a point in time where I wanted to buy Soul Strip, absorb it, move it from the States to Canada, and take over design and conceptual building on everything and all of that. But we could just do it ourselves too. I'm not too worried about that. But at the same time, like that will take huge amounts of capital. I'll have to actually get this brand back up and running properly before we could launch anything like that. Right now, like basically it costs me $200 a month to keep our website going. This month we actually made $100. So shout out to Minneapolis Mike who ordered a bunch of beans. Thanks, buddy. I appreciate it. So I've just been kind of quietly keeping that going out of pocket, and that's fine. You know what I mean? Like I never started this channel to make money. I actually never thought anyone would tune in at all to this channel. Never thought anyone would tune in. My thoughts would be I would make videos for many years, and then one day aliens would come across Earth, and we would be an extinct race, and they would find cannabis seeds in my videos, and aliens would learn to grow weed. That's honestly what I thought. Well, I mean, maybe jokingly thought, but still. But then all of a sudden we became a movement. There was a point in time where the Potsquatch Growers Army was this huge movement. Like we had thousands of active members and people chatting after the shows. We would have chats with like 20 to 30 fucking people all over the world talking together. And I'd like to try to get it back to that. You know, the hard thing is, dude, okay, so the Techno Viking, the funny thing is when I made that do it yourself carbon filter, that was almost 10 years ago. And like back then, I did not have the handyman, creative, design, fix it, build it skills that I have now. I am vastly more skilled now at designing, building, fixing, augmenting, and working on anything. So I'm light years in terms of my knowledge and abilities now in terms of those types of things. So like that's where I'm thinking like doing those types of videos again, but with my new knowledge and what I possess now would actually probably be pretty cool and pretty exciting to do. Actually, funnily enough, I've been toying with the idea of actually remaking that carbon filtration video and just making a better version of it. Same basic concept, obviously, but you know. Oh, dude, 100%. Techno Viking, if there's one thing I've learned with a little bit of ingenuity, a little bit of creativity, and sourcing parts, you can literally build anything you could buy anywhere for the most part, especially when it comes to the grow space and the grow world, because nothing we're using, let's be fair, is that fancy, except for some of these like new super fancy things. They're like, oh, you can log on your cell phone and do this and do that, which is okay, cool. It's Star Trek growing. It's pretty nifty. I'll give it that. It's pretty nifty. It's darn nifty. But most things you can build at home. You can build at home for less money and very simply. Like one of the things that I wanted to do was, and again, I'll make this video. The cost of making this video will probably cost me about $150 for the parts, give or take. Was I wanted to make, you know, a fun little nifty video of like how easy it would be to create side lighting or supplementary lighting for your tent. So basically, all you really require is you're going to get yourself a fluorescent tube 4-ball ballast. You're going to wire in all of the sockets for that. And then you just use a T5 replacement. I think it's a T5 replacement. LED light from Samsung that's 3500 Kelvin color. And dude, it would be absolutely perfect and wonderful to not be a primary light source, but a great secondary side lighting source system for any grow tent. And those fucking tubes, man, like they'll run a good hot minute, right? Like they'll run a good long time. So like, you know, what will cost you maybe, at least by Canadian prices, $150 in parts, give or take. Might be cheaper than that, actually. I don't know. Well, see, that should be like the initial video, part of the video. It's like, how much is it going to cost us to order shit off the internet to make this shit? But honestly, though, like, I really should start doing that because, like, the things I've learned since I first became Potsquatch about how everything in the world works. Like, I run 7 very complex, very advanced buildings now, from their boilers to their pipe systems to their like everything, the infrastructure, building designs, this or that. Like, I mean, it's just like, I know how almost everything basically works now. And I get paid decent money to run this shit and fix this shit and deal with all the contractors and all the renovations and all of that kind of crap. And like, I was always naturally very handy, but like, I've gotten really good at shit. So I think we should start making some of those videos for everybody, I think. Oh, dude, sick. Techno Viking. My email is potsquatch420. Well, it's one of many emails, but potsquatch420 at gmail.com. Fucking, if you're into it, send me a picture of the thing. I'd love to see what you 3D printed. I find the world of 3D printing extremely cool. And I'm fascinated by what people are doing at home with 3D printers. I think it's really fucking dope. So I'd love to see what your creativity led to, man. That'd be nifty. If you feel like sharing, I'd love to see it. Okay, I'm gonna keep pushing. We're gonna hit an hour, and then I definitely gotta go make a quick dinner and then get to bed because I gotta be up for the game at 5 or 5:10 a.m. tomorrow. So Canada takes on the dirty Americans. No offense, Americans watching. I don't think you're dirty. We're just at war with MAGA right now, and it's hockey, so we get really fucking pissy about that. We're like, yeah, buddy, let's go. It's our game, right? So, dear America, please don't get offended. Okay, it's hockey. Okay, we get pretty uppity about that. But yeah, we're taking on the Americans tomorrow. We gotta go shut up those Kachuk bitches. Yeah, no, exactly. Dude, you get it. You get it, Sweden. And to be fair, shout out to Sweden. You guys have gotten fucking gangster as shit at hockey over the last 10 years, 15 years, 10, 15 years. To be fair, all of the European nations have gotten really good. I want to say, after watching this Olympics, honestly, even France had a team this year. And I was like, what the fuck? The French even had a team this year. They haven't had a team since 2002 or some shit like that. Um, so, like, and they showed up and they played better than I thought. They honestly did. I was pretty impressed. I was like, fuck, even the French are playing hockey now. And we're not threatened by any of that. We're really excited about that. Like, it's so nice to see European nations really genuinely start to join at the table in terms of their skill levels and what they bring to the table. And like, dude, shout out to Sweden, Finland, Chechnya, Slovakia, Latvia. Like, dude, you guys are killing it. Good job, man. Like, dude. Who were fuck, the Germans even too have been playing pretty damn good. Not that, like, that should be shocking, but it's just like they were always a little bit behind some of the other European nations on hockey. But sincerely from Canada, fuck yeah. We respect it and we like it. You know what I'm saying? Oh yeah, the Swiss. The Swiss are great too. Yeah. It was funny when I was married to a German, and when I would speak my little bit of German that I had, she was like, "Oh, you kind of sound Swiss," and I'm like, "You're fucking Bavarian." Like, your version of German to German is what Newfie speak is to English in Canada. Probably most of you won't get that, but anyway. I want you to know, Sweden, we in Canada were very much rooting for you when you guys played the Americans. I was praying and like cheering you on. I was really hopeful. I was watching you guys play them at work. I'm a boss, so I'm allowed to do things like that. And I was very hopeful. I would have loved to see you guys knock out the Americans. No offense, America, but it's hockey, so. But and you guys played a great game. You know what? Don't worry. Leave the Americans to us. We'll take care of them tomorrow. It's gonna be all right. Okay. Canada's got this. Canada's got this, bud. Fuck yeah, bud. Elbows up, Gordy. How about? It's so funny because, like, when I wear my elbows up t-shirt out and about in Canada, most Canadians love it. Most Canadians will be like, yeah. And then, but it's a really quick way for you to find the maple mega morons in our country because then they get really pissy at my shirt. But it's funny, like I'm 6'1", 200 pounds of death. I'm a retired fighter, and I'm like, yeah. Tell me more about how my shirt upsets you. I love it. I love it. I genuinely enjoy pissing off the ultra conservatives of the world. It makes me happy. And that's where I find funny. I try not to get too political on the show. So we're not really getting political. We're just talking about what Potsquatch enjoys doing. But like, I love how like the ultra super mega right, for example, right? Oh, dude, I got the email. That's dope as shit. I will check it out, man. Act like the left because I'm a left person, right? I used to be like when young me, I would have probably said I was pretty far left, but I'd say I'm a lot closer to center now in the new world. So I'm a left leaning centrist maybe now, I guess. But that's just the world changing around me. I haven't changed. It's just the world's changed. But I love how they like to pretend that like all the left are like a bunch of tiny little weird dye-haired this that theys. And first of all, yeah, we definitely have them on our side. And fucking guess what? I'm going to be protecting them. But it's kind of like Hellboy, really. You know the things that go bump in the night, but we're the ones that bump back. Like, guess what? There's a lot of cocksuckers like me on our side too, and we're fucking really excited. Just in case it all comes down to it. We are very excited. I mean, do I want violence? No. I'm an anti-violence guy, but if it's gonna happen, I might as well enjoy it. Kello Mini, good to see you, my friend. How long is the live? Oh, well, we'll keep it going for a bit. I gotta eventually get to bed, but I gotta be up for the hockey game tomorrow there, but gotta take on the Americans tomorrow and play some fucking hockey, you know what I'm saying? Going for gold, baby. Going for gold. But Kello Mini, I like being on the side that can do math. Yeah. Me too. And to be fair, though, in defense of some people on the right, to be fair, I would say the right is two things now. There's two different parts of the right. It's okay to be conservative. It's okay. Because a lot of the conservatives that are actual traditional conservatives are starting to realize this new far right thing is just stupid. And they're actually joining us. So we're all kind of getting along. So majority of society right now is actually more unified, I think, than we've ever been. We've just got these fringes on both sides because it doesn't matter whether you go left or right. You go far enough, everybody's a fucking fascist, right? So I actually, as dark as the times are, as dark as the world is, I genuinely have faith. Because where I see a lot of darkness and a lot of harm and horrible shit going on that we got to deal with, I actually see a more unified people across bipartisan lines, right, than I've ever seen before, actually. So, you mean the oh fuck, we the baddies combo? I don't actually know if I understand what that means, Kello Mini. Anthony C. No, I'm liberal. I traditionally in Canada vote NDP, but I voted for the Liberals in the last election because I like Carney and I believe in Carney. No, I'm a left dude. I'm not a conservative. The Conservative Party has been useless for probably 40 years in Canada. And there was a point in time, at least, where I had a little bit of respect for them. I have zero respect for the Conservative Party currently of Canada right now. Polyev is a bitch. And he's a moron. He's never had a real job in his goddamn life, and he'll sell us out faster to MAGA and foreign interests than anyone. I gotta be careful. I try not to get political on the show. The show is a safe place for all people. My opinions are my opinions, and I don't need to share them with you. Yes. So Maple Magas got very offended, Anthony, at Elbows Up. So we have a movement in Canada called Maple MAGA, okay, or that's what we call them. They're people who think we should become part of the United States. They're traitorous swine, okay. We are fucking Canada, okay. We got no beef with America. Well, we got beef right now, but America are like our cousins, okay. No issues there, right? We love America to a point. They are our cousins. Up until recently, they've been our greatest allies, and we've been ready to rock and roll. You know what I'm saying? But the fact of the matter is, okay, Maple Magas are morons, and they make up a very small subsect of our country. But so, if I wear an Elbows Up t-shirt showing national Canadian pride, they get very upset about that, which I find funny. Kyrie 24. Governments are all sold out, buddy. I would say that the general inherent nature of a government typically is pretty shady on both sides of the fence. Yes. Do I think there's a lot of shady shit that happens? Fuck yeah. Do I believe that we're doomed to just that? No. The day we give up on a democratic idea, the day we give up on fighting for democracy and trying to ever inch closer to a true democratic existence, is the day we lose the hope for the human race. So I don't disagree with you, but making a generic, inherent blanket statement about everyone in every government everywhere, that's just ignorant and moronic. So I'm never going to give up hope, and I'm never going to stop fighting for what I believe in. And my beliefs are pretty simple. I believe everybody should be allowed to exist. I believe that everybody, as long as you're not causing hate, harm, and disruption, has a right to a decent quality of life. I believe people have a right to health care. I believe people have a right to education. I believe people have a right to feel safe and to own a home. And if they choose to have a family, that's allowed too, you know? Oh, dude, Stuart Harper. I've always been me though, right? Like I've been doing this show for 10 years. Like I mean, it's not the first time Potsquatch has accidentally shared what he thinks. I will defend anyone's right to think what they want. That is what democracy means. But I reserve the right to think you're a moron. But if I will also say you have the right to think I'm a fucking moron, and I'll defend your right to think I'm a moron too. That's allowed. That's the beauty of democracy. We don't have to agree. We don't have to think the same way, and we can still go out for a beer, go out for dinner, and all hang out and have a good time. It's just a thing. I'll even say that Maple MAGA has a right to think the way they do. But like I said, I have a right to think what I think about them, but I will defend their right to say what they say or to think what they think. That is democracy. That's the point of democracy. If the whole world always got along and thought exactly the same thing, we would never move forward as a fucking race. We would never actually have anything interesting going. And, you know, fuck shit. Art would be boring. Movies would be boring. Music would be boring. Sex would be boring. Everything would be boring as fuck. It would be a generic, bland, doodle-doo, dandy, leave it to beaver bullshit world. And that would suck. The Techno Viking says it's 5 a.m. here in Europe. Time for a last drink. Puppies, calm down, motherfuckers. There's no one at the door. You safe. Actually, there could be. So there's he's not a bad kid. There's this kid who lives in our building. Lives with his mom. He's like 22 or 23, okay? But he doesn't have a parking spot downstairs, okay? And so, simply put, he keeps parking his car downstairs. And we've told him, we've been nice. He was stealing other people's parking. Like a lot of the people in my building are disabled people, okay? So this young kid, this prick, is taking their fucking things. And so, like, we warned him 1,001 times. I've had conversations with him. Yesterday, I lost my shit. He let one of his friends into our building, and he was parked in my parking spot. So what does Uncle Potsquatch do when he gets back? and he sees this. I pinned the kid's car in with my Cadillac, left a note saying, "You're in my fucking spot. If you want to leave, you're going to have to talk to me. Call this number." And then I proceeded to go through my entire building, knocking every fucking apartment until I fucking found who was parked in my fucking spot. And I lost my shit at this kid and his little friend. And they tried to get fucking aggressive with me, and I was like, "Oh, kiddo's doing. No, 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 no." And then they saw what I did with my car, and they were like, "Oh, shit." So anyway, his friend left. But then I come back today, and this kid is parked down there again. So we had him impounded today. Tow truck came, his car's in the impound. It's going to cost $600 to get it out. And to be fair, like I said, pretty much everyone's in a wheelchair in my building except for me. Well, there's other people that aren't in wheelchairs, but they're old. So if they're, and I just had a verbal altercation with this kid and his friend yesterday. They're like 23. So his car's going to be gone now. He's going to go down there. He's going to go, "Where the fuck's my car?" Who do you think he's going to get mad at? Who do you think is also kind of genuinely excited about it? Fact of the matter is, we gave this kid 1,001 chances to not be a dickhead and treat people with respect. You know, respect is big in Potsquatch's world, right? Like, you don't have to think like I do, right? I don't have to think like you do. But general respect, showing each other respect, respecting each other, that's a big fucking thing. Respect's a big thing in my world. And when you basically start stealing cripples' fucking parking spots, you start stealing this parking spots of like 80-year-old women who are there taking care of their disabled son who's a quadriplegic, and they beg you to stop using their spot because they need it for their disabled van, and you keep fucking parking down there. I gave you the benefit of the doubt, kid. I had 3 chats with him. Gently was like, "Bud, you really shouldn't do this. Like, Bud, you really got to stop doing this. Bud, like, it's like less than $100 for a year to park on the street. Like, you just got to go do that. You don't get a parking spot. There are no parking spots. Sorry." We gave him a chance. We gave him a chance. No. I'm too old and smart for that, Techno Viking. So in my mind, I'm just hoping the kid comes banging on my door and tries to take a swing at me. Because then legally under Canadian law, I can kick the shit out of him. And then I can call the cops on him. Yo, what's this up in the Netherlands? I have very little Dutch. One of the only things I can remember how to say in Dutch is kind of a dirty thing I learned when I was a teenager over in Europe. But for Holland, this is some of the only Dutch I have, and it's for you. Ik heb een grote piemel. It's one of the only things I remember from when I was a kid. I'm sorry, it's dirty, I know, but I lived in Holland for a brief moment. I lived in Utrecht, and I quite enjoyed it. Holland is a wonderful place, and I love the Dutch. I will also say this about the Dutch. Holy shit, the Dutch are gangster speed skaters. You guys are good at speed skating. I've been watching the Olympics religiously because I love the Olympics. And holy shit, the Dutch can speed skate, everybody. The Dutch can fucking speed skate. Holy shit, you're fast as fuck. Good job, Holland. And yes, I'm aware that technically Holland is a region within the Netherlands and not actually the name of your country. I'm Canadian, not American. I pay attention to these things. No offense, America. You guys don't even know anything about us either, most Americans, so you can't really get mad at that. Not bad. It's small and flat. Terrible German dialect. Well, that wasn't German. That was Dutch. Ich heb een grote piemel is Dutch. Deutsch, which is German. I speak that a little bit too. Aber mein Deutsch ist mit Grammar von Englisch. Also für die deutschen Menschen, meinen Deutsch sprechen ist sehr, I can't remember the word for strange, but it's like weird to them because like I don't use reflexive grammar, but they understand what I'm saying, right? So, ich was leben in Bayern vor 2 Jahren, 6 Monaten und meine erste Frau war ein deutscher Schreiber. Sie war ein bayerische Frau. And yeah. Oh no, I'm basically just a parrot. I mean, I was sucked at languages as a kid. I've actually started to learn a little bit more as an old person. I find languages a little bit easier to learn. Like when I was a kid, I just basically could only do English. But I'd like to, as I age, to learn languages a bit more. Yo, what's up, Yeti Mountain Trading? Good to see you, my fellow hairy cousin. Oh, I understand Techno Viking. Dude, I will say this about the Dutch language though, is it's cool. Like I've never been great at making the sounds, but I genuinely love listening to Dutch people speak Dutch. It just sounds so cool to me. And as weird as it sounds, I love the sound of Dutch women. To be fair, I love the sound of most European women in general. Like I love the sound of German women, Swedish women, Swiss women, Finnish women. Y'all sound sexy to me. Dude, fuck yeah, Yeti Mountain Trading. How did the DJ set on Twitch go, bro? What were you DJing today? Like jungle, drum and bass, house? What were you doing, my friend? The Techno Viking was also a DJ for many years as well. Hello, JZ3537. Good to see you, my friend. How are you? I'm good, just chilling. Doing a bit of a live stream before I gotta go to bed and get my beauty sleep because I gotta wake up at 5 fucking a.m. for hockey tomorrow. Peace and love, Techno Viking. Laters and keep it real, son. Hell yeah, Yeti Mountain Trading. That sounds dope as fuck, son. Hell yeah. I occasionally look at Twitch things. I'll check it out. Shoot me a message with that though, because my brain is special and won't remember, Yeti. I know thyself, they say, right? Hell yeah, buddy. How many watts you gonna be rocking in that new room, Yeti? Ooh, excuse me. 12,000 watt LEDs. Are they 1,000 true watts? Because if you're rocking 12,000 true watts LED, bro, that's going to be some serious fucking photon power, bro. Damn, son. 12,000 true watts. That's impressive, bud. That's a very, very impressive amount of photons. For those of you who are new here, invite your friends. Everybody's allowed to talk, by the way. You can talk, you can participate. Back in the day, we used to have hundreds of people in these shows, and everybody was chatting, and I respond to everybody. I always do my best to actually, like, read everything. Outdoor up and running. Still a bit early for that, is it not there, bud? Or are you getting shit ready to put outdoors? Is that what you're saying? Yeah, dude, Jay-Z, it's been a hot minute. I mean, I haven't been that religious about releasing consistent content. I'm trying to get back on that horse. I've been struggling with it for the last number of years to kind of stay on top of really doing it, but we're getting there. Working a day job that slowly bleeds my will to live. Not that I dislike my job, it's okay, but I mean, it's just takes a lot of my time and energy. And I'll be honest, I wish I was just making a couple movies a year, growing dope, and making content for all y'all. That's what I prefer to do. But okay, gotcha. Get them up good at 4 feet, and then just throw them out right as it starts to flip naturally outside. I dig it, bro. JC, don't feel bad. I'm not consistently watching. Well, thank you. That's all good, man. Nah, I got to get this channel like actually consistently releasing shit, and then I also need to create a new channel. Honestly, to be fair, like I really want to start a satire channel where I can be critical of the world and share my opinions. Then it will, like, if I had that as an outlet, then it won't bleed through here into the, the Potsquatch shit. Oh. For example, hell yeah, Yeti Mountain. 100%, buddy. I feel you. I'd love to debate one day. Like, if I could pick anyone right now that I'd like to debate, you want to know who I'd like to debate and have a genuine debate with? Ben Shapiro. That little prick. I'd love to debate him because he's good at talking. He's a verbal bully. I'm good at talking too, and I've also read a lot. I'd love to have a debate with that kid. That would be genuinely enjoyable. Hey man, Yeti, you tried, dude. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's hard when you move to a different, like, for example, there's a lot of places in Canada that like are way more affordable for me to live, but like I don't know if I would genuinely enjoy living there, right? Like I could go to Charlottetown or East Coast and that'd be great, but they pay less out there. Like things are more affordable, but jobs are way less. And I'm not going to move anywhere in Canada unless I'm making the same money that I'm making now. So it's like it's hard, right? Like there, you know, there's so many places in Canada that like I could hypothetically move that would be way more affordable. But am I actually going to enjoy living there? It's a mixed bag. I just wish it wasn't so expensive in BC because I like where I live. DJ Blueberry, what do you look for in a house that you intend to grow in? Great question. Honestly, for me, 200 amp service minimum. I'd prefer a phase 3 power 400 amp service to the property if possible. I want land. I want space. I don't want neighbors super close. I want to have preferably either somewhere that doesn't get like minus 50 Celsius. That would be great. Just because growing in extreme cold kind of has its own interesting things. But for me, really, would be like the perfect house for me would be somewhere where like I've got 2,000 to 2,500 square feet of livable space, but another 1 to 2,000 feet of space where I could have both a grow, have a studio set up, editing studio, and do all that. And then I'd love to have a workshop out back where I can work on cars and build stuff and tinker and stuff. So really, I want a small acreage with a house and a workshop. I prefer it to be on, like I said, at least a 200 amp service, but I prefer phase 3 400 amp service. I prefer, honestly, probably to go with an older house built out of old timber because I know I can strip it down to bones and build it back up and make it sexy and pimp. Honestly, I'd look at the wiring, I'd look at the panel, I'd look at the power system and the power supply of the house. So making sure we don't have any like shitty aluminum wiring in there still. Making sure we've got an updated panel with proper breakers and proper wiring, proper plumbing and drainage, even if it's all going into a septic, still making sure that that's legit. Water source is a big thing for me too. So what is my localized water going to be? What is its natural ppm off of the tap? What is its pH? Like, where is it coming from? How much does my water cost? Is the water free? Do I have water rights with the property? If I do have water rights, great. I'd love to have space to go off-grid solar and wind to go into a big super battery pack that I would build. I'd also supplement that for gray or shitty days where we're not generating a lot of off-grid power with bioethyl generators that I rebuild so they can run off bioethyl alcohol that I make in my own stills. You know? Yeah. So that's what I would look for in a house, really. And also, too, like the ability to like increase the security of the building hardcore, you know, and easily adaptable to making it super secure. Dude, Yeti Mountain, stay blessed. Much love, buddy. Oh, fuck, Yeti. I'm so sorry, dude. I'm just reading your messages now about that. About what you experienced in Oklahoma. Dude, I feel you, man. I'm actually making a movie. It's different type of human trafficking, but it's about human trafficking. I'm shooting that in June, so no, I'm so sorry, man. Oh, dude, yeah, DJ Blueberry, 100%, dude. Like, making sure your electrical systems are one to code, done safely, are new and not old and shoddy. Making sure you don't have any weird shorts out, and making sure everything's properly grounded and done right is quintessential. Also, too, like I would take an old house, strip it down to bones, and I would build it back up though with because there's new types of basically drywall, but it's not really drywall, but it's like drywall, but it's like almost impossible to burn down. So like I'd rebuild the house up after checking everything out from bare bones with like basically it's fireproof. Like even if a fire tried to start, it would be fucked. Sorry, everybody, I'm just reading. Yeah, dude, you got to be super duper careful. So like, I'd want an old house that I could strip down and build back up, basically. New updated plumbing and electrical, but I want phase 3 400 amp service. 400 amps. I think Uncle Potsquatch can have enough toys on that. But I'd also do an off-grid power system as well. I'm like always going to stay connected to the grid, but having backup power, or if I'm generating tons of power and more than I even could need, then the ability to sell it back to the grid would be cool too, like they do in Germany and other places. That'd be super duper dope. I'd be into that as well. No, I feel you, Tony Gilbert. Brick don't burn, but the wood inside the brick does. But also, I'll share. I do love brick buildings. I have a passion for brick buildings, but there's almost no brick buildings here in BC. It's just not a thing out here. Roman Reckless, good to see you, baby. How you doing? What's happening, son? Good to see you, man. Oh, dude, Tony, I love brick too. There's just almost no brick building out here. Rest of Canada is mostly brick. I like brick. Brick is less common in general these days. People don't use brick like they used to. Honestly, one of my favorite ways of seeing how a house is built is how the Germans build their houses. And they've got these big kind of ceramic bricks that are like soup. Like, dude, you go to a German house, even if it's scorching hot, like 40 degrees Celsius outside, it is cool inside. Because it keeps the heat out and it keeps warm in the winter, the way they build their houses. Like, their houses are dope. A lot of that building style wouldn't work in a lot of parts of Canada, given the earthquakes and shit. It'd be kind of bad. So that's why we do wood frames so hardcore the way we do, because it can flex and it's better for earthquakes and shit, you know? Yeah, there was a live stream during the live stream. I didn't even announce that one, which is a thing for many years on the show, for those of you who remember. But, yeah. Also, DJ Blueberry, though, that was a great question, by the way. That was a really good question. I liked your question. Oh, dude, Canadians, I've had my windows open the whole winter. No, it doesn't get that cold where I am, but I would keep the windows open in a colder climate too. I like fresh air, man. That's one thing I get with the Germans. I like fresh air too. Hell, I'll wear shorts at -25 as long as it's not windy. Uh, these are Pall Malls. Smoking Pall Mall Smooth. Roman Reckless, have you got a live schedule lately? No, not really, man. I'm trying to figure out when I can like have like a dedicated show day. I'll probably realistically, I'll probably go back to doing either like the Wednesday midweek live maybe, or doing something on the weekends. I'm just been debating. I could probably do one regular live a week is really what I got in me these days. Thursdays are normally my Friday nights in this new world, but I've been invited to start performing stand-up comedy again, so I think I'm going to try to go do their open mic nights. They tried to offer me an hour showcase, and I was like, "Oh, I'm not ready for that. Like let me warm up again a bit first." So Thursday nights they've got an open mic night at this bar downtown, so I might go start doing those. Once I feel ready, maybe I'll take a showcase on or something, but. Well, that's the thing too, DJ Blueberry. Like, I'll put it to you this way: having a good electrician and a good electrical design, and having that like is your best friend for doing your grow, man. Having a good electrician, having it properly set up and safely set up is quintessential for sure. I don't mind Luckies. I smoked Luckies a lot when I was over in Europe. But when I was in Germany and Holland, I predominantly smoked, and it's what my wife at the time smoked. So, and like I didn't mind the smoke, so I smoked whatever she smoked. I liked the L&Ms. I smoked the L&Ms over in Europe. I don't mind the French smokes, the Gauloise or the Gauloise. Those are not bad. I like the orange ones, the hard ones. But when I was a kid, I grew up smoking Export A Green filterless cigarettes back in the day. I don't really smoke a lot now. I mostly vape, but I still have a few darts a day. I mean, see, Tony, Jennies are good, and most of our OG grows here in BC were all off-grid, run-off generator. Fuel's really expensive now, though, right? So, like, I'd love to have a combined system that is solar, wind, and then generators that run off bioethyl alcohol made on site, sort of on leftovers, right? Pall Malls, I mean, they're expensive as shit. Smokes in Canada are really expensive. Like, buying 2 packs of 20s cost me $36 at the store to get 2 packs of 20s. So, but that's Pall Mall, and Pall Mall are considered, they're not the cheapest smoke, but they're a cheaper brand though, at least here. That's valid. I'll give you that, Tony. That's a valid point in terms of the diesel and biodiesel, etc. 64 bucks. That ain't bad. That's 640 a pack, man. That's pretty good. Yeah, fuck. Carton here in Canada is probably close to 200 bucks. $1.50, $1.60 or whatever. Yeah, dude, Anthony, see, like, I'd love to have solar, wind with bioethyl backups and like a super bank of batteries. But I wish we hadn't killed batteries back in the '70s the way we did in electric vehicles, because we'd be light years ahead. I wish our battery tech was different than the way it is. Like, I'm not a fan of lithium batteries. I mean, I remember years ago, and they still haven't figured it out, but like building like supercapacitors from actual carbon from burning hemp and shit, and like that'd be dope. But we haven't figured that out. And to be fair, like maybe we could have figured that out, but like it's cheap and easy to produce and will last forever. That's why companies don't want it. They don't want us to have shit that works, is affordable, and can be fixed. Corporate monster doesn't work that way. Tony, as a Canadian, I refuse to go to America right now. I will come back to Canada once you guys bring a real president back. No offense to those who may like Donald Trump. You're allowed to. I reserve my right. But yeah, no. Almost everyone in our country, we won't go to America right now. So sadly, I'm just buying the shit here. Plus, our cigarettes in Canada are different. We've got the lowest tar in the world. Highest nicotine. But so our cigarettes are the healthiest in the world, but the most addictive. True story, though. Canadian tobacco is different than anywhere in the world. True story, my friend. Dude, that's crazy. It's a Roman reckless with your clones, though. Like, you're not running into any actual pathogenic issues or, like, loss of vigor in terms of your clones. I think it would be truly wonderful if, like, all of us Potsquatches, like, lived in a community. Then we could all share clones and genetics and all just grow weed together. It'd be so fun. It'd be so dope. Yeah, the funny thing is like, too, like, you know, we felt bad because, like, we liked, for example, in Canada, we liked bourbon. We drank a lot of bourbon. But, like, Jack Daniels and, like, Jim Beam, all these companies would, like, lay off tons of people because they didn't realize, you know, we may only be, like, 41 or 42 million people, but, like, the amount of liquor we actually drink as Canadians is kind of insane. Like, we can drink. And it was like, yeah. So pretty much we just buy Canadian now. That's how we're going about it. It's not like we didn't like the American whiskey. We just ethically can't buy it now. Oh, no. I'm not saying Jack Daniels is any good. I love how Jack Daniels was originally, because it is technically a sour mash bourbon recipe. They marketed it originally as a bourbon. Nobody bought it. They changed literally just what they called it. So they changed to calling it whiskey, and all of a sudden it started selling to people. But honestly, I prefer rye whiskey, if I'm being completely honest. I do prefer rye whiskey, but sometimes it's nice. One of my favorite basic, you know, affordable, what I call kind of working man's bourbons, shall we say, would be Bullet Bourbon. I also love Maker's Mark. That's a really good bourbon, too. Dude, Canadian Club is not bad for what it is. It's total bottom shelf for us, but it is decent. Honestly, like, if I'm drinking rye whiskey, if I were to buy, like, a nice bottle for my house, oh, fuck, I'm blanking now. But what do I normally buy? Weiser's Deluxe. There we go. I like Weiser's Deluxe Canadian Rye Whiskey, and it's also not that good. It's basically bottom shelf or lower mid shelf, but I quite like it. But yeah, rye whiskey's pretty tasty, my friends. Tony Gilbert, Maker's Mark is overpriced. You pay for the wax. Well, that's probably true. It's the artisanal wax dripping you're paying for, but I still don't like. I don't mind it. I quite like it. That's a bit of rocket fuel, you know what I mean? But we don't drink bourbon in Canada anymore. In Canada, we just drink rye whiskey now. Sorry, I'm just pulling a blanket off the couch. One of the dogs actually got sick on it before the show, and I haven't had a chance to clean it, so I got to put that through the laundry. Oh, Yorkie poos are pukey little dogs, I'll tell you. Oh, shit. Fruitopia. I haven't heard that in a hot minute. Honestly, I don't know if Fruitopia is still a thing. I think that died. We did have Fruitopia. Like, that was my childhood. Fruitopia was a thing my whole childhood, but I don't think we got Fruitopia anymore. I think it's gone. It's gone the way of the dinosaur. We still sell it? Well, okay, news to me. I mean, to be fair, if I'm being honest, I don't really drink a lot of synthetic beverages or fake beverages. Like, I mean, I like Diet Coke. I will admit that. Yes, I know it's carcinogenic, but guess what? So is everything. I've already had cancer, and it was caused by tofu and 2 hoppy beers. But I don't mind me a Diet Coke occasionally. But yeah, no, I drink mostly just water, coffee, and beer. Once in a blue moon, I'll do some whiskeys and stuff, but I don't even drink a lot of whiskey anymore or do shots anymore either. I'm old and boring. It's not anymore. They took the aspartame out, so it's safe. No, that you're talking about Coke Zero. That's a different product. And I'll also share with you that a lot of these newer, sugar replacement additives are inherently carcinogenic from the processing process. So all I know is that Diet Coke in Canada still has aspartame. Actually, I've got a can of it in the fridge. Let's take a look. Here we go, everybody. We're going to look at where is the Diet Coke? Did I drink all of them last night? No, I couldn't have. There should be at least one can of Diet Coke in here somewhere. Oh. Maybe I did drink all the Diet Coke. Oh, here's one that's open. Not going to drink that. I'm not sure who put that in there. That's probably a Katie thing, but here we go. Nutrition. Yeah, here we go. Aspartame. Still got that aspartame in there, buddy. Still got that aspartame. Oh no, yeah, we're still feeding our people aspartame in Canada. To be fair, I think a lot of us would get upset because we like the taste of aspartame. We're like, no, we like that shit. Tastes good to us. DJ Blueberry says zero still has a glycemic impact. Roman Reckless says memory loss. What? Does aspartame cause memory loss? Is that what you're saying, Roman? See, like I watch my sugar intake these days a lot. I just got to be careful. I also try to avoid simple carbohydrates as much as I can. Keep it on those complex carbohydrates and eating lots of protein, green shit. Aspartame's poison? Yeah, no. To be fair, guys, girls, these and those, it's all fucking poison. Like, let's be fair. Like, as much as I hate to admit it, as much as I find beer and alcohol medicinal in a lot of ways, it's poison too. A lot of the stuff we ingest is technically poison in a lot of ways. It is what it is. What are you going to do, right? Sad but true. But I'm still not... Is there something on my teeth? Oh, there is. Sorry, everybody. I know you didn't need to see that, but I saw it in the camera. I was like, oh, shit. No, I feel you, DJ Blueberry. I mean, there's been times where I wasn't drinking at all, and like the occasional de-alkalized. Probably my favorite de-alkalized beer is a German one, and it's Warsteiner. The Warsteiner zero alcohol beer is quite tasty. Tony Gilbert, hit me. Hit me with your question, baby. Hit me. Hit me, baby. He's typing. So I want to grow old seeds, but they're not climate controlled. Will they done on me? Do you mean that the space in which you are germinating your beans is not climate controlled? Is that what you're saying? Yo, Chef Life 420. I actually don't. I mean, PBR, I've still got the flag there because it's part of my origin story. But I drink old style Pilsner these days. One of the oldest beers in Canada, brewed in Canada since 1926. It has not changed since that. I'll have one more, and that's it for the day. But hell yeah, buddy. But yeah, no, for a de-alkalized beer, if you want a tasty de-alkalized beer in the humble 2 cents of Uncle Potsquatch, buddy, I'll tell you. Warsteiner makes a good de-alkalized beer. The Germans figured out how to take the booze out of it, and it tastes like beer. To be fair, honestly, Warsteiner and certain German de-alkalized beers are so good you probably wouldn't notice. Cheers to you, my friend. I had a beer once from Scotland. It was like 10 or 11%. It's called Tough Old Bastard. It was pretty good. You had a few of those, and that shit fucked you up. I had another beer. It was called Kolchenbier, and it was a Bavarian Trappist beer, and it was a black lager. So it looked black as night, but tasted like light as day. Well, that shit was like 13%. So I actually went to the monastery where they made it, and I had lunch. I had spaghetti and meatballs, and then I drank like 3 or 4 of those. Great. I went to stood up, and I'm like, oh shit, yeah, that shit is 13%. Holy shit, bud. That's going to be an interesting drive back to my wife's house. Well, technically her parents' house, because we lived with them when we first got there, but. So how you doing, Chef Life? Chef Life, I've been good. Working too much at my day job. Gotta try to get another channel. Like, I'll keep this channel going, but it doesn't make any money. But if I can get another channel going that we could actually monetize and make money off of, so I don't have to kill myself at a day job, that'd be sick. I'm also regrowing all my hair, though. I've been experimenting with my different products, and so it's mostly baby hair, but this is all new growth. Give me another year and a bit, I'll have a full head of hair again. Not that I really care, like I said earlier in the show about being bald, but I just wanted to see if I could do it. Oh, dude, Chef Life. So yeah, last time just moved to a new house. So we're going back 4 or 5 years probably now. Turns out Dottie, who was the Mrs. Potsquatch at the time, wasn't whom we thought she was. Or, well, we'll put it simply. She decided she didn't like me anymore. But rather than being a real woman and just ending things properly, she cheated. Then ended things and we're living together. Then she lied, got me arrested by the cops and beat to living shit on my own property. I had to fight her in courts, prove my innocence. Took a peace bond, though, because I sent her a text when I got out of jail saying I loved her, and she reported me to the cops for that, so I got hit with the breach charge, and I couldn't fight that. So I had to take a peace bond. It was one of the most traumatic things of my life. Then came back to Vancouver. I've been back in Vancouver 3-4 years now, but and back in the original apartment where we started the channel. And fuck, probably the most intense thing though that's happened recently would be the zombie penis thing. That one was funny, but good to see you, bud. Totally, I agree with you, Roman Reckless. I don't agree with like freezing beans because it's one thing to like have Mother Nature freeze beans over a winter season and then they come into the next season, but I find that dry, dark, non-fluctuating temperatures around 16 to 21 degrees Celsius is the best way to store them. I would wholeheartedly concur with that. No, so I'm not using Rogaine. No, everything I'm using is all natural. So I'm using Spartan hair shampoo and conditioner, alpha infused micro needling, and then recently I just bought a infrared and red light therapy cap that I'm using as well. It'll probably be a few months before that really affects anything, but like that's all new, man. This is all it's all baby hairs. Like this is it's like the whole front of my head is now filled with baby hairs. I'm just trying to get them to mature now. You know what, Tony? It sucked, but at least it was, a story, and I got a whole story about it. And the night I got arrested, we did bump heads because I was trying to like nuzzle foreheads, which is something we did early on in a relationship. And then I wasn't wearing my glasses and I was crying, so no depth perception, right? So we bumped heads. She's like, "You headbutted me," and I was like, "Well, I didn't headbutt you. You're 100 pounds. If I headbutted you, you'd be unconscious or dead. I'm calling the cops. You don't need to call the damn cops. I'm going to bed." So I went and fell asleep on the couch, and then woke up to blue and flashing lights, kind of still like swinging. I'm like, whoa. And I was drunk at the time. I was upset. I'll own that too. And come to the front of the house. And so open the door, and the cops don't say anything. They try to pull me out of the house. Obviously, you know, natural instinct is not to react well. So one cop grabs my left arm, other cop grabs my right arm. So I smash the one cop into the house on the right, flip the one over to the left. Next cop comes at me. I pick him up. I fucking throw him through a fence. Next one got me. And then they all jumped on top of me and started playing my head on the fucking pavement like a basketball. They fucked me up. But the best part of the story was like I was so upset. I was crying all night in this freezing cold jail cell, not really understanding what was happening. And like, so the cop who I threw through the fence comes up and he goes, "Hey, what? Just wanted to say, no one's ever thrown me like that before. That was pretty impressive." I said, "Okay." He goes, "I'm going to Timmy's. Do you want anything?" I said, "Can I have a double double and a blueberry muffin?" So the cop brought me a fucking double double coffee and a blueberry muffin from Timmy's. Slid it through the little like slot in the bottom of the door. Oh, Chef Life needs to know about the zombie dick. Okay, so I number of years ago had the Omicron variant of COVID. It led to an epidemic around the world that a lot of people didn't talk about, where streptococcal bacterial infections started doing weird things. I'm pretty much the only one that they're aware of that this happened to. But I got strep of the dick. In the span of 15 hours, my dick swelled up to 16 inches around. It started turning black. My scrotum became the size of a small watermelon. Went in the hospital the first night where I've been really sick all week and I felt really sick. Turns out I was actually dying. Um, Doctors like, "You have the flu and you had too much sex, go home." So I was like, okay. So I went home. And then the next day, that's when everything changed and everything exploded in my junk. So, but 11:30 at night, Sunday night, I went back to the hospital. Nurse hooks me up to the EKG machine. She goes, "Oh, you're having a heart attack, sir." And I said, "No, I'm not having a heart attack." She goes, "Your heart rate is like 168. Like you're having a heart attack." I said, "No, I'm not. I'm stressed." She goes, "What could you possibly be this stressed about?" I said, "I don't know, maybe this." And I dropped my pants and they were like, "Oh my God." Like they'd never seen it before. So at least I was original. Ended up losing 65% of my scrotum and major parts of my dick. Rebuilt that cocksucker. October 31st, 2023, Frank and Weenie had his final surgery. Didn't even need skin grafts. My dick regenerated more than they thought humanly possible. And where it's not quite as pretty as it once was, in the end, it's almost identical the way it used to be. My dick bounced back. It's so funny because, like, before the last surgery, the doctor, his name was Dr. Bush, funnily enough, too. The surgeon who got my dick rebuilt comes in. Dr. Bush got me ready for the bush again, you know. Comes in and he's like, holy shit, bud, your dick has regenerated more than I thought humanly possible. And I turn to him, I go, Doc, so does that mean I got a Wolverine penis? Okay, Doc, I got a serious question. So after the surgery, if I shave my pubes like mutton chops, do you think that'll help in my recovery? He just looks at me and goes, shut up, Josh. You're going into your surgery. I was like, okay. Yeah, it was an interesting journey, though. It took me about a year to get back to normal, though. Dude, nice, Roman. Have you been keeping them the exact same way? Like you were just keeping them in like an even dark temperature the whole time? Yeah, no, chef life. Nothing I'm talking about is exaggerated. I was in the hospital for 2.5 weeks. I was on outpatient care for over 3 months. I took more antibiotics than anyone in the history of Canada on the West Coast for a soft tissue infection. Yeah, old Dutch master, you damn right I re-veg this dick. I did re-veg this dick. That's 100% true. Roman Reckless says, why mutton chops? Because Wolverine had mutton chops. At least the original Wolverine did. Dude, I am in a medical book. It was funny when I was like the first 3 days. So, like, the head of infectious disease comes in after about a day I've been in the hospital and he's kind of laughing. And I go, what's up? He goes, dude, do you realize that if you came in any later than you did, you'd either be dead or so sick there's nothing I could do? I was like, okay. I spent the first week and a half in the hospital fighting them. They were going to cut my dick off. I was like, yeah, you know what? I'd rather just die. So you're not cutting my dick off. And it was a young doctor from the infectious disease department. He was a student doctor who came in. He's like, I actually don't think we need to cut your dick off. I was like, sir, tell me more of what you're speaking of. This sounds like a good idea to me. Keep talking, you know? And, but like, so they started showing me off to all the student doctors, right? And so I probably saw 68 to 75 student doctors in the span of 2 or 3 days because nobody had ever seen this. I was like the first one. I was like the first guy to get this kind of strep of the dick, you know? And like, so they're like, the funniest one though was this one student doctor, giant black dude from Africa, right? Comes in. And so he just walks in quietly and then he takes a look at my dick and his eyes just pops out of his head. He's like, says nothing. So he goes out with the other student doctors. Josh Smoke 9342. You can send me an email at potsquatch420@gmail.com. That's POTSQUATCH420@gmail.com. And so anyway, I hear this African student doctor on the other side of the wall talking to the other student doctors, and he's like, I have never in my life seen a man's penis look like this before. So I knock on the wall and I call through the wall and I go, it brings a whole new meaning to big black cock, doesn't it, Doc? He pops back in and he goes, you know, it really does. We actually became friends after that. He came and visited me every day. He was like, man, he was like, dude, I can't believe the sense of humor you have about all this. I'm like, well, dude, I could sit here and get upset about it, but like that's not gonna help anything. So might as well have fun while I'm, trying not to die and have my dick cut off, Yeah, dude, Roman Reckless, it totally hit or miss, isn't it, really, when it comes to old beans? It really is hit or miss. Sometimes you get lucky, sometimes you don't. What's up, Lauren LRC? Good to see you, my friend. What's up, man? So, Tony Gilbert, you're basically bionic then. Rock and roll. What's up, Robocop? That was the funny joke we were joking about my dick. It's like, RoboCock, we can rebuild him. We have the technology. Like, I actually got the call about the final surgery when I was doing a live stream on the channel. And I had been affectionately, because originally I thought we were going to have to do skin grafts, right? You know, and they're like, oh, we're going to have to take skin off your thigh. And I was like, Doc, you know, like, my thigh is really hairy. Like, you know, am I going to have like a Chewbacca dick? You know? Like, do I get free laser for that shit? You know? And so I started calling my dick before it was even fully rebuilt. I ended up having like 2 or 3 surgeries. I can't remember now. At least 2. And, you know, calling it Frank and Weenie. So I was doing a live stream on the channel. And I get a hospital call. And I was doing it on the computer so my phone could ring. So I answered it. I took the call in the show. And like everybody on the channel is watching, that was watching at the time, like sees me get this call from the hospital saying like they're gonna rebuild my dick on Halloween. And I start laughing. I'm like, so I tell the nurse on the phone, I'm like, I've been calling my dick Frankenweenie. You telling me that Frankenweenie's gonna come to life on Halloween? So yeah, I went in October 31st, 2023, and Frankenweenie came to be. It was like the show house. Very much so, shelf life. Hell yeah, Lauren. How'd the trimming go? I don't know. Right, Roman Reckless? Like, why are we just storing beans and keeping them and like letting them go to shit? We should at least be like every couple of years propagating every bean we care about and just making a fresh batch. I totally agree with you 100%, man. Dude, Lauren, I hope you get that call soon, brother, because that's some crazy shit. Blocked arteries are never good. Dude, that's both horrible but cool as shit, Tony, in terms of your leg telling you whether. Oh, fuck yeah, man. No, dude, you know, I'll put it to you this way, right? You know, is my dick quite as pretty as it once was? No. But he ain't bad looking, though. Still prettier than most of the dicks you see in porn. He's like that really sexy, quiet, you know, dangerous guy at the bar that's got a couple of scars, but you're almost more intrigued by the scars now. And you're kind of like, what's his story, you know? That's my dick now. Actually, this Thursday, if I do go do a set for the open mic night comedy that they want me to come and start doing because they want me to do a showcase, I'm thinking about trying out, because I've been writing this whole hour bit about my dick. It's called Night of the Living Dead Penis, the story of how my dick and scrotum tried to kill me the second time. So I'm thinking I might go that route on this one. Or maybe talk about some of the weird, crazy times when I was a guest of the Chinese government. Probably will go with the dick this time. It's funny because like a dick joke is like a really simple, like lowbrow humor, but like I've elevated the dick joke now. My dick jokes are fucking elevated, man. My dick jokes got a whole different thing, you know? And it was so funny too. I remember when I went into Dr. Bush, so I got like my scrotum dying, right? You know, this has been going on for fucking, you know, a number of months. And it's the first time I met Dr. Bush. You know, I was told Dr. Bush, he's the best at dicks. Doesn't matter if it's a real dick or building a dick for a trans person. He was the best at dicks. So I got the guy who was the best guy at dicks, you know, Dr. Bush. And so Dr. Bush, he's looking, he's like, holy shit, bud. Like, you know, that's crazy. Holy shit. Roman Reckless, I mean, honestly, like, I have no issues of showing before and after. It doesn't bother me at all. It doesn't freak me out when people want to see. The funniest thing, though, is I had a bunch of buddies who, like, when I was going through this, and they were like, okay, man, not in a gay way, but can I see it? And I was like, bro, I'll show you. I'm not worried. It doesn't bother me if you want to see it. But I'm warning you now, I don't know if you want to see it. Like, this is some pretty horrific shit, bro. And he's like, no. Send me the pictures. I need to see what your dick looks like. And he, to this day, is still horrified. Like, he's still horrified to this day. And then he went and got ball cancer. So now me and him are one nutted men. You know, funny thing is though, is like I kept my left nut, he kept his right nut, so together we're a full set. Oh shit. But yeah, no, I mean, Roman, I don't mind showing, but it's really not that bad. It's really not that bad now. I mean, the recovery process on that was pretty horrible. I will say that it was the most horrible, painful experience of my life, other than Dottie. And I would not wish it on my worst enemy. It was not great. So I'm just laughing at everybody's shit here. No, yeah, no, don't worry, man. I'm not, I don't feel a great need to show your wife my dick. I'm just responding to the comment. Don't worry, bro. I'm not gonna. I don't feel for educational purposes only, just like cannabis YouTube channels. But I won't. Don't worry, buddy. Don't worry, buddy. I'm just laughing about it. My cheekbones are genuinely hurting at that. No, but let's get back to the story though. So I'm sitting there the first time I meet Dr. Bush, who's gonna rebuild my dick, right? So he's the best of dicks, they tell me, right? So he's looking at my shit, you know, and I've got this desiccated, dead 65% of my fucking scrotum. It's still attached to my body. And he's looking at it, he goes, you know what, bud? I think I can get this off you right fucking now. I'll be right back. I'll get some scissors. I'm like, what? You gonna get scissors? And he comes in with some medical snips and he just starts snipping. And all of a sudden he fucking holds it up. He's like, there you go, bud. See you later. And he just throws my desiccated ball sack into the fucking garbage. It was a surreal, weird experience, I'll tell you. Yeah, I was the first chef life. I was the first to have this happen. They had never seen it. That's why they were so confused at first. It was funny. Like I remember when I went in for like an ultrasound. My wife in the background, whip it out, girl. YouTube already hates my guts. I can't whip my dick out right now. I mean, like, part of me would love to, but like, you know, YouTube gets upset about that. They already hate my guts, girl. Like, come on now. But it was so funny though. So I remember the first ultrasound I went for, right? So like I got this fucking like watermelon sized scrotum. My dick's like this, you know, it's black, it's dying, it's necrotic and shit. So the lady takes one look and she goes, oh, wow. I've never seen anything like this before. I've been doing this 25 years. I'm like, cool. Well, get in there and start scanning. So she's scanning, right, you know. And I go, fuck, you know, I'm already missing a nut. Couldn't we just shank the fucker and drain it, you know? Like, just fuck, I got the nut on the left, but let's shank the right side and we can fucking, you know, drain it out, you know? And she goes, oh, honey, what you're seeing on this isn't fluid. That's all tissue growth from the most severe infection attack of anything we've ever seen. The fact that this is literally grown in 36 hours, we cannot believe and don't get. Okay, so I shouldn't shank it with a pen when I go back to my room? She's like, no. Robert Chancellor, 2810, Canadian Hammer. That's right. The Great Canuck, Wolverine, Robocop, Penis, Frankenweenie. It's a warhammer built for all times. Fun for everybody. Oh, I was awake, dude. No local anesthetic. He was just like, no, I'm going to cut this off you right now. And he just started snipping with his little scissors, bro. I only felt the very last snip. It was a little tender in the last snip, but he got through most of it because it was all dead, right? So I couldn't feel shit. And he wasn't wrong. Like, he's like, yeah, I can get this off right now. Like, just start snipping away with scissors. I felt the last snip, but that was it. Yes, in 1.5 days, it got that bad. Yes, dude, in the span of 15 hours, my dick was already like, by the time it was done, it was probably 16 inches around. But it was definitely like a good 13 and 15 hours. And like, By the time I was done, my scrot was probably like this. But like by the time I went into the hospital, though, it was already like this. It was like a good grapefruit for sure. No, I didn't feel anything the next day either. Everything was dead. No, Chef Life, this was caused by the Omicron variant of COVID. I mean, I did have a lot of crazy sex, which probably helped the strep along to fuck my dick up. Don't use spit as lube, I guess. I don't know, but yeah, no, it wasn't like an STI or anything like that. It was caused by Omicron. No, circumference, circumference, Roman, circumference. But it was crazy. Like if you saw my hobbling ass when this was like that, it was kind of comical to watch me walk. I'll be honest. Like it hurt though. I'll admit, every goddamn step hurt so bad. It was so painful. Oh my god, it was so bad. Well, everybody walks around with streptococcal bacteria in their bodies, almost every single one of us at all times. And strep bacteria is everywhere. It's one of the oldest, basic, most bacterial realities of everything. So, streptococcal bacteria is where, like, staph and other infections come from, flesh eating disease. Like, it's all that same family, and it all starts with the basic strep bacteria. So, mine never evolved to like a new form of strep. It was just like the basic strep level 1. It just attacked my dick and it attacked my dick hard. And it's like the way I look at it, it's like the universe already gave me ball cancer and tried to kill me once. And the universe is like, okay, hear me out, hear me out. We tried to smarten this guy up by giving him ball cancer. It didn't fucking work. Okay? I know it's going to sound weird, but what if we try to make his dick kill him again? But this time, it's a zombie dick. I don't know. I'll put it to you this way, ladies and gentlemen. If I've proven one thing, Uncle Potsquatch is extremely hard to kill. Bring it on, baby. Dude, DJ Blueberry, they cut my tonsils out because I got strep throat 16 times in 1 year when I was a kid. So they cut them out, never got strep throat again. Well, a lot of people are like, oh my God, is everything okay? And this, that. I'm like, I'll put it to you this way, ladies and gentlemen, you know? Like, it may be a little bit different than my old cock, but it's really not that different. The fact is, I could still do porn. And it's not like one of those weird porns, like where the guy got his dick cut off and then put back on and he became a porn star because it was like, oh, this is the reattached dick man. Oh, dude, DJ Blueberry, like one day when they write my biography, it's going to be called The International Man of Idiocy, the Luckiest Indestructible Idiot. And the amount of times I should be dead from both cancer or an infection or injury or accidents or being stabbed or shot or this, that, like it was fucking countless, man. It's ridiculous. The amount of times I should be dead is astonishing. Oh, hell yeah, DJ. I mean, somebody's looking out for me. I'm not sure who it is yet, but somebody's looking out for my ass. It's 9 o'clock. I gotta go. I probably need to go in a minute, everybody, because I gotta fucking, get to bed. Oh, shit. I've been boiling water. The fucking pot's already almost boiled down. So I keep doing the show rather than making my dinner. What's for dinner, Potsquatch, you may ask? Well, I'm going to be eating high protein, high fiber, almost no gluten noodles that are actually really tasty. And with a nice homemade scratch bolognese. That's right. That's how good I am, Roman. I burnt water. Dun, dun, dun. The man who could burn water. Chef Life. Cheers, chat. Haven't seen the man in like 3 years or so. So no Potsquatch. Maybe 4 years. Yeah, no, my dad's still around. He ain't dead yet. Had another stroke, still going. I think he's at 5 now. Like I said, the Potsquatch lineage and genetics are really fucking hard to kill, buddy. Really tell me how you make bolognese. I make a lot of different bologneses. A lot of my bolognese would not be considered a traditional Italian bolognese with certain things that I put into it. And, my Italian chef friends would get very upset, but it tastes bomb. And I'm like, just fucking eat it. And they're like, okay, fuck, it's so good. This one was a newer one. Slow roasting out garlic, onions, tomato. Didn't put no carrot in there. Didn't put no celery in this one. I didn't want that in there. Slow roasting that out. Then after that, slow roasting out. I mean, I do my beef separate. Once that's ready and I break that down nice and smushy, I put that to the side there and I start building my sauce and building my flavors. And then I'm putting in my fucking spices and I'm doing this and I'm doing that. I probably spent about 3 or 4 hours completing this sauce yesterday. So it's pretty good. Tastes pretty good. Yeah, you know, I like it. So you bought it at a grocery store? Fuck no, motherfucker. I cooked that shit from scratch. Suck my dick. Suck my Franken penis. I meant that nicely. I didn't mean it aggressively. But no, of course I made it from scratch. I don't buy sauce. You think I buy sauce? I was a head chef of multiple places, motherfucker. And I never went to culinary school. I'm just a guy who knew how to cook. And after my first failed marriage, I came back from Germany and I thought I was interviewing for a job to brew beer, but I actually got hired to be a line cook. I'm like, how the fuck did I get through this whole first interview and not realize I was interviewing for a fucking line cook job? But anyway, worked there for three months. 2 days in, the head chef and the general manager come up to me and they go, "We're going on vacation for 2 years, or 2 years, for 2 weeks. Do you feel comfortable running the kitchen on your own?" I was like, all right, sounds good. So I ran the kitchen for 2 weeks, went really well. They weren't paying me enough, so I heard about a line cook job on Bowman Island where they were going to pay me $17 more an hour. So I went over there. They made me sous chef 2 weeks in. And then a week later, they fired the head chef and made me the head chef of a 350 seating capacity restaurant. Did that summer season, and then I was also the head chef of Mountain View Brewing. I single-handedly developed and launched a menu in a week. I took that brewery from never making money off food to where 65% of their profit came from the food. Oh, dude, Roman, don't get me wrong. I like carrot in my sauces too. I just wasn't feeling that yesterday. I have carrots in the fridge. It's just, well, it's not what I wanted to do that day. What's up, Felicia Casper, Skippy Lippy? What's up, girl? Yeah, no, dude, it was pretty good, Chef Life. Like, I mean, like, the fact is, like, you know, are you going to hire me to do fine dining? I mean, I could technically do it if I wanted to, but and even though I've technically held the head chef title a bunch of times now, I'd rather consider myself as a country cook who outcook your fucking grandma and that bitch gonna cry. Because my alter ego is a 90-year-old woman. And, bro, I will outcook anyone's fucking grandma. Straight up. I said it. Mic drop. Done. One of my favorites was, like, I had a Yorkie off against all these old cockney women. They made their Yorkies, and I made my Yorkies, and I beat all those bitches. And they were, like, so upset about it, but at the same time couldn't stop eating it. And I was like, Yeah, Roman Reckless. Got to remember though too. You can always use a bit of like Jamura, honey or honey, sugar, or a little bit of honey, a little bit of sweet, a little bit of that natural sucrose. Will cut that acidity a bit too. I'm not dead yet, Felicia. Not dead yet. Working on it. Or shall I say the universe is working on it and I keep laughing. Do I use milk in my bolognese? No. No, I don't. It's not a rosé sauce. I'm not doing a rosé or a blush sauce. So no, I don't use that. No. Actually, I use zero dairy in the bolognese. When the bolognese goes on the pasta, I put a fuck ton of fucking, Parmesan cheese on that shit. Because I like Parmesan. Actually, to be fair, I've been eating these new noodles. They're fucking super on point with my new diet, but they taste pretty good. 16 grams of protein to a serving, 8 grams of fiber, and only 180 calories. They're banging. They're really tasty. I will say we've come a long way on making sort of noodles that have alternative options. I mean, chef life. I mean, I didn't necessarily talk about it all the time, and you've been gone, right? So, you probably missed the last time where I took over the kitchen, and it was funny how I took over the kitchen at Mountain View Brewing too. It was like, I was just sitting there drinking beer one day. Dottie got a line cook job there, and they've been really struggling with their food and their execution. And I was drunk and I was high, so I turned to the owner. I was like, "Bro, I could fucking come work for you, man. I'll fucking make you money." Fuck it. I'll come out of retirement. I vowed I would never go back, but I will tell you, I'm only going to come into your kitchen and I'm only going to develop a menu for you if you let me put beer in everything. And he's like, really? I'm like, yeah, no, I'm literally going to put beer in everything. He goes, okay. I had a chef a while back say that, and I wasn't sold on the idea. Didn't like what he did. And I said, okay, but you do realize I grow and smoke dope, right? So my food tastes good. Let me do it. So he was like, okay. So I put beer in everything. Everything I did had beer in it, and it was good. Launched a Taco Tuesday. The first day we launched Taco Tuesday, I had a bus of fucking Mexican tourists show up. And I'm like the whitest dude on the planet. And I was like, oh my God. Of course, my first Taco Tuesday and a bus of fucking Mexicans from Mexico show the fuck up. Fuck my life. Dude, the Mexicans loved it though. They were like, this old Mexican woman who was like sort of like the granny super cook of the group came up to me and she's like, when they told me a white person cooked this, I had to come meet the white person that made this. And she goes, son, I want you to know, holy shit, that was amazing. I have no issues as a Mexican with what you just served me. I want more. But I already had 10 of them, so I can't physically eat more. And then I was like, well, you can smoke some weed. It's legal in Canada now. Oh, it was funny, man. Oh, totally agree with you, Roman Reckless, on that. Totally agree with you on that. Live stream during the live stream from Frank and Weenie. Actually, going back to the zombie dick thing briefly. So they wanted to put a catheter in when I was in the hospital. And I was like, no. One, you're not cutting my dick off. And two, you're not putting a catheter up my dick. My dick has had a rough enough day. You're not cutting it off, and you're not fucking shoving a fucking catheter in it. Well, how are you going to pee? Fucking just watch me. I fucking limp my ass off the fucking bed. I lived my way and I squat over the toilet and I gave it hell and I kept pissing that whole damn time because I was not letting them put a catheter in my dick. So I actually survived the whole thing, and even the doctors were flabbergasted. Like, honestly, like, we're all still amazed that you never needed a catheter once. And I was like, thank you. Like, oh, you're Mexican chef life? Dude, I dig it. Well, dude, but bro, okay, imagine the whitest guy ever, okay, launching his first Taco Tuesday ever he's ever done anywhere, just because he wanted to do it, and spends the whole, like, day before getting everything ready, okay, and then literally, as we open, okay, a literal tourism bus of Mexicans get off a bus. And they're like, yeah, we heard this brewery was doing their first Taco Tuesday, so we went out of our way to come here for it. And I'm just sitting in my kitchen like, fuck off, universe. Really? Really? Couldn't you send me some fucking white people to try it first? But we survived it, and it was okay, and the Mexicans liked it. So I was like, oh, thank God. I was genuinely nervous, though. I was genuinely so nervous when I see this busload of 40 hungry Mexicans get off a bus, and it was the beer place. Yeah, it was the brewery. And I'm like sitting there and I'm like, oh no, really? Really? You couldn't just let me have this one, universe? But it went okay. They loved it. It was great. They actually came back on their way through for my weekend special where I did stuffed Yorkies. They loved those too. For my tacos, I had a beef taco, I had a pulled chicken taco, and then I did a slow roasted eggplant. It was eggplant, sun dried tomatoes, peppers, and a bunch of other shit that I roasted down together, and did this kind of like vegan taco. So it was done. So there's no dairy in it. It was vegan. It was good. It was safe. To be fair, like, I'm not normally one for vegan food. I like dead animals. And so if I'm going to cook something fucking vegan, I'm going to spend my time to make it fucking good. And then obviously, assorted little bit of veg, a little bit of this, a little bit of pickled onions and carrots, sliced top on there. Did my little toppers of like a chipotle mayo for the non-vegans. And for the vegan one, I did a vegan version of that with using a base of garbanzo beans and a few other things to make it a little more creamery as I purified that out or blended it out and shit. It was good, though. Yeah, no, it was all good. The chicken wasn't grilled. The chicken was a slow cooked down boil, a slow braised infusion boil that I shredded and then let sit in its own sex juice of food. It was good, though. I did like a Mexican themed spiced version of what I did when I was the head chef at Doc Morgan's. And I called it Potsquatches. Well, I called it Sasquatches at the time because I wasn't Potsquatch yet. This is before I became Potsquatch, so I was just Sasquatch then. Pulled chicken sandwich. Yeah, like I said, dude, like, I'm pretty good. I'm not the greatest, but, like, I'll put it to you this way. Nobody's not going to like my food. My food's good. I'm not a Parisian chef. I'm not some formal trained this or that. But I make food, and I put my heart into it, and I make people what I want to eat, honestly. So I guess if you don't like what I like, maybe you won't like it. So that's technically possible too, I guess. Fuck, I'm having one more beer. And then we got to end this show because I got to wake up early to watch hockey, motherfuckers. But like one of my best friends, well, my true best friend from childhood. Well, technically I have a best friend from childhood. He's my best friend from like teenage years in high school. His name's Big A. His name's Aaron Russell Smith. He's the head chef, executive chef of the Glasgow Hills Golf Club and Country Resort. He's one of the most dangerous up-and-coming chefs of Canada. I call him Big A the Mobile Mountain. Man's about 6'4", 6'5". close to 400 pounds, size 16 feet, quadruple G width. He's a big boy. He's been on the show a couple of times. He's a big boy. But he's killing it back east. But he's always loved my food. And he's like, you may not be a formally trained anything, but dude, you got the fucking go on this shit. It's good. You got good food. And to be fair, the couple of times we've had cook-offs, I've beaten them half the time. So rock and roll. Chef Life, have you ever watched any of the food, infused food episodes? We made only like maybe 3 or 4 of them. You ever watched any of those? Dude, Squatch Lighting is the shit. Soul Strip took them off their website. Me and Brett haven't talked in forever, and that's okay. To be fair, I think I could make a better light than they made. Honestly, like, we had good parts, but it was simple. And I want to keep the simplicity, but like build it better. So the way I look at it is technically they were supposed to inform me legally on terms of our contract before they took anything down. But I figure I don't think old Brett is, because I don't really think Soul Strip's doing much. They're still around, but like he's got a big boy job now and he's getting old now. There was a time where I was talking about buying his company and moving it to Canada, and we're gonna relaunch Squatch Lights in a better way. Dude, bro, I've still got all the Squatch Lights here, man. A lot of them they're all basically just sitting right here. The racks are in boxes. I've got Squatch Light Mark 1s there. I've got little Squatches. I've got all the things. I've got parts for a little Squatch too. I just don't have any space. I just don't have any fucking space. I need space again. Oh, dude, you bought those lights probably early on. I think you were one of the earlier purchasers of the Squatch Lights back in the hood days, bud. I think you bought those back in the hood days a hot minute ago. The only thing I've done on some of them is that I've replaced a lot of the wires with a higher graded wire for like that can handle better amperage and shit. 2019, 20. I feel like it was like a 2020, 2021 purchase, Roman. 2020, 2021. I feel like that's it. Yeah, pre-COVID or just the start of COVID. Like early COVID. Before we realized what was happening. This is marijuana, by the way. I'm finally smoking weed for the first time on the show. Fuck, man, we're almost at 2 fucking hours. Wait a minute. Yeah, close. Maybe because I monetized? Maybe what because I monetized? I'm not monetized. I haven't been monetized in 6 years. We got kicked out of that program about 6 or 7 months after we joined it. Then a year later, they let us back in for 2 months and kicked us out again. I keep reapplying every time they say I can reapply, but they never let me in. They say I'm harmful and dangerous content. Oh, hell yeah, dude. All of my fucking Squatch Lights still run, too. They were good parts. And to be fair, like, I think Soul Strip just brought our lights down because, like, he and I haven't talked in years, and I'm not really releasing content. And it was just recently that he took them down, too. To be fair, whatever, it doesn't bother me. Like, I got some free lights out of it. I got paid $1,600 once. So, that was it. I'll just make my own, fucking, lights. I gotta make dinner and go soon, guys. Sorry. It's 9:30 already. I'm already gonna be tired as shit waking up at 5. No offense, America, we're coming to fucking eat you alive tomorrow. It's hockey time. And we're gonna shut those little Chuck bitch brothers up tomorrow. But even if we lose, as long as we have a good fucking hardcore, everybody's fucking giving her game, that's really, like, I mean, I want gold as a Canadian, but honestly, as long as I get a crazy fucking gangster game as fuck, that's the main thing I want out of tomorrow. But we would very much like to fucking beat America tomorrow. Especially after our women lost to the Americans, so. Oh shit! Soul Price showing up right at the end. But welcome to Soul Price, or welcome Soul Price. Oh, fuck, Jansen's here now, too. Fuck. See, this is a problem. People show up that I haven't seen in a hot minute, and I'm like, ah. But we're already going past our normal go time. And I gotta get to bed because I got so much shit to do. I gotta install a bunch of dishwashers tomorrow and then rip parts out of old dishwashers and try to put them into other dishwashers because Whirlpool's stupid and they're making parts. Like, for example, here's a side thing of fixing things. When you build a hose into a dishwasher and you perma-crimp and design a fixture to go into the inside of that dishwasher, so I literally have to buy the same fucking hose and just can't strap another hose to it, that's fucking dumb. So anyway, I bought another dishwasher for one that's just pissing out. The parts to fix is too much. Maybe I'll do it later, but I just bought her a new dishwasher. So I'm going to install that. I'm going to take her dishwasher with the parts on it, which aren't fucked, for fixing another one in, sweet 2002. I'm going to go do that. It's going to be an interesting day tomorrow. And I'm training one of the new guys. Well, dude, yeah, okay. I am definitely shadow banned and have been for a long time, which in a weird way, I'm proud of. That's right. Dangerous and harmful content, especially in Trump's America. A free-thinking man. Oh, dear God, no. Yeah. Maybe if you go and unnotify Bell and then re-notify Bell again, that could seat it in the way the fucking computer works that runs this shit, maybe? I don't know. I just don't know. But just keep your eyes out, Uncle Potsquatch, he's here still. We're going to still keep doing some stuff. And I got to keep you guys up to date, too, and my new little hairs that I'm growing. Spartan shampoo. Takes a long time, but it works. Micro needling, alpha infuse. And then I got my new red light therapy cap, which I'm wearing every night for 30 minutes. So, I don't know. Experiments. I am a mad scientist after all, and sometimes you'll need to experiment on yourself. We make the best guinea pigs. Dragon with Matches says, I got a notification 30 minutes prior to the show. Okay, sweet. So at least some notifications are going out. But I definitely think maybe they're minimizing it or delaying it. I've gotten a lot of stuff for years, too, where people are like, I got the notification for the show the next day. I was like, well, that's strange. It's after the show. Yep, 100%. That was at Roman Reckless there. Well, Robert Chancellor, I'm not dead. I'm still here, my friends. Like we covered earlier, Uncle Potsquatch is very hard to kill. Well, but my friends, I'd love to sit here and gab and go old school Potsquatch. We talk for 4 hours, and then I go, oh, sweet Jesus, fuck the games in a few hours. And I'm not going to do that. I'm an adult now. So, my friends, my family, new and old, my Potsquatchers, thank you ever so much for coming out tonight. Thank you for hanging out and chatting wheat titties and tolerating me when I briefly got political there. I tried really hard not to go there, and I didn't. I was good for the fact that I kind of went there a bit, and I'm sorry. I just like I love all of you, and I just want to tell you what I think about shit. But but it's been a good show, and it started a little slow, and then it really became a lot of fun. There was a lot of new people there chatting. We had the Viking. Was it the Viking DJ? Or Nordic, something like that. But he's a sweet guy who came into the show. I feel like he may have been watching the show for a long time and never talked, but tonight he was drunk and he decided to talk to the show. That was fun. And it's just been enjoyable. I genuinely want you all to know, I very much do enjoy, as much as I'm exhausted. I spent the fucking first 20 minutes of the show yawning my ass off. But I've had fun, and it's been good to see all of you, new and old, and chat with you, catch up. And I need to start doing this more again because I genuinely fucking miss you, motherfuckers. I will genuinely say that. I missed you, Potsquatches. Nice to see you. But I gotta make my goddamn dinner. So remember, the true grower is the forever student. The true grower is not afraid to take risks. The true grower makes educated, stupid decisions. Love yourselves, love your plans, critical thinking, keep an open mind, but also don't be a dumb fuck and don't listen to morons. Well, actually listen to them so you know they're morons and then you can move on. Anyway, I love you. I know the world's scary right now, but it's gonna be okay. I think we're gonna get through this. We might need a world war. I don't know. I'm hoping not. I'm kind of praying we don't go there, but just know we, the human race, will get through whatever the fuck happens. We'll get there. All we all gotta do is try not to be a moron and maybe be a little more respectful to each other. We don't have to agree with each other to not blow the world up. Okay? We can disagree and not blow the world up. Let's start there and then maybe beers and dinner on Sundays, right? Anyway, baby, I know I got weird there at the end. I'm just showing my love and I am a little stoned now. So, anyway, Uncle Potsquatch loves you. Keep it real. Word to your mother. We'll see you next time.